Everything starts, you guys, with the hook. Okay. And a lot of times this is not going to all happen on one call. Like our sales process, a lot of the time will take a little longer. It could go weeks, could go months, but we got to start with the hook. So when you first talk to someone after a lead comes in, you got to give them a reason to spend time with you. A lot of times with our sales team, that just looks like, hey, I know this is out of the blue. I know we called you. I know you said you do want to sell. Just to let you know, our goal here is to be able to make you an offer as soon as 10 to 20 minutes on your property so that you can move on, whatever your situation is, right? So you don't have to word it like that, but give them some kind of reason to actually spend time with you. Super valuable part of working with the seller properly. Then you have the frame, okay? And you're going to frame for them two things at the beginning of your sales process. What's happening on that call or that in-person appointment, and what's happening throughout the whole sales process. Because people do not want to spend an unlimited amount of time with you. They want to understand within a framework how much time they're going to be spending with you. So, hey, Mr. Seller, on the phone today, we're just going to spend 5 to 10 minutes together. I know you're busy. I'm busy. I'm going to ask you a couple questions and we'll go on our way. And if you also want to explain to them the whole process. So, hey, the whole process, I know we're only spending 10 minutes together today. As we work through this whole process looks like we get to know each other. I ask you questions about the property. Eventually, we agree on a price. Once we agree on a price, you get to choose your closing timeline. You get to choose all the terms regarding the transaction. Then we close. Then, that can happen as soon as 2 weeks, as soon as 10 days, all the way up to 30, 60, 90 days. And we go from there. It's very simple, straightforward. There's no attorneys and there's no legal stuff involved, no attorneys involved. There's no realtors involved. There's not a bunch of showings involved. It's super straightforward. What you see is what you get. So you're framing the whole process for them at the same time. Then you go to myths and leverage. And this is really one of the points where you want to create a differential and you want to go into your spiel about, hey, most companies out there, what they're going to do is make you an offer, drag this out to closing, and then lowball you at closing and try to get a price reduction. That's not how we work. We work very transparently. The reason people like working with us is because once you sign a contract, that is the number that you're getting as long as the house is in the condition that you're telling us it is in. Okay, so you're creating a differential between you and your competition very early on. Because most of the time, you guys, these sellers have talked to other companies. A lot of them have already been under contract. A lot of them have already been screwed over. You'll find that more times than not that they've already been engaged and they have a little bit of PTSD when it comes to agents and just selling their house in general. Because it's really not a fun process. Like selling a house is not a fun process for anyone involved most of the time. Before I actually go on, you guys, this is a lot of times where we'll build credibility in our sales process. And there's two forms of credibility. That's indirect or direct. Indirect credibility is, the example is if I walk into a real estate meetup and I go introduce myself to someone that I want to know and I say, hey, I'm Cole. I'd love to get to know you. Here's my track record. Here's all the deals I've done. That's direct credibility. So with the seller, what that looks like is, hey, here's all the reviews and testimonials from other sellers that have used our service. Here's why we're awesome. Indirect credibility is if I walk into a conference or a meetup and I'm going to introduce myself to Logan, but Mitchell walks up and says, oh, Logan, you got to meet my buddy Cole. He's a badass. He's awesome. He crushes it. You guys are going to do great things together, right? That second intro, and there's actually books about this, is a much better way to get introduced to someone, the third party intro. And so indirect credibility is your title and escrow company being a resource for you or your closing attorney and pushing your seller to call, email, or text with that person to verify you. And we do that a ton and it works great. We'll say, hey, Mr. Seller, you don't want to take us at our word. You don't want to take our testimonials at our word. Why don't you call our title and escrow company, Fidelity Title? They are a Fortune 500 company. They are massive and they will help you understand that we mean business. And when we say we're going to do something, we do it. And your title and escrow company will be happy to do that to continue to earn your business and help you get files across the finish line because that's how they get paid. It's in everyone's best interest. So that's indirect credibility. That works incredible. We use that a ton and I highly recommend it. Then you have discovery, and your discovery is where you get all of your questions answered. Okay, so you need to know about the condition of the home. You need to start building rapport, understanding their motivation. You need to start understanding what's at the end of the rainbow for them, because most of sales in this business is just truly understanding, and helping paint the picture of how you're going to help them get to where they want to go. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'd love to pay you $1 million for your house. Should I love to pay you $5 million for your house? When I do pay you whatever number we agree on, what's going to happen next? What does that unlock for you? Oh, I'm going to move to Mississippi. My mother passed. My sister and I inherited a home. I'm going to move into the home, right? You're going to unlock what's happening at the end of the rainbow for them. And then you can constantly use that throughout the negotiation, paint that picture. Hey, I understand we're stuck on numbers here. I just want to let you know, here's how we're going to make your end goal 10 times easier for you. And you attack other things besides just price. So as this whole thing unfolds, we want to be attacking all our different points of perceived value. So if they say, hey, I'm a hoarder, we're going to help them find a company to help clean up their home. If they say, hey, I don't know where I'm going to go next, we're going to help them find a moving company. The amount of times that we have helped someone find their next apartment, paid their first month deposit for their next apartment, paid for moving companies, we've done an insane amount of things to get deals across the finish line. And you have to think of yourselves as a solutions company. When you're going direct to seller, dealing with a B2C avatar like this, you need to think of yourself as a solutions company. And if you do, you'll get a lot more deals done. So discovery is where you really start uncovering all the layers to the person, to the situation, to their motivation throughout the process. Then you have disengage. And this is a big thing. And I actually added this for my sales team recently because I found that we stopped treating these sellers like humans. We treat them like robots. We just keep forcing our sales process down their throat. And so this gives my sales team the ability to step back and do a couple calls with them, call a couple times and just check in on them. Don't even talk business. Disengage from the real estate, disengage from the negotiation, and just put yourself on a human level and check in with them, treat them as clients. That does wonders when you're working with off-market sellers. A lot of them take a couple months to convert. So this is really to discoveries, get questions answered. And then disengage is to kind of humanize your sales process. I think that's it's been helping tremendously, just giving our team permission to step back, check in with sellers once in a while about non-real estate related stuff, build that relationship, build that rapport, build that trust. So when they do want to re-engage regarding the business conversation, there's a little more of even ground there. And then price anchor. And this is a big thing, you guys, when you're going in to actually make an offer, you want to hold on to your number as long as you possibly can in a negotiation. Why? It's the only reason they're talking to you. There's at least most of these sellers. It's the only reason that they are talking to you. Okay. It's because you have some magical number that resembles a way to get to where they want to get to. They want to pay off debt. They want to move across the country. They want to rent an RV and go visit their grandkids. Whatever it is, your number is the key to Narnia, so to speak, for them. So we want to hold on to that for as long as possible. Okay. And the way we do that, and we actually bring that into the conversation eventually, is price anchoring. So we don't just say, hey, we'll give you 200. We use objective market data to work them into a range. So what does that look like? Well, Mr. Seller, do you know that home that sold 3 doors down for $600 2 months ago? Oh yeah, that was so-and-so's house. Great. Or you don't know them? Fine. 3 doors down from you. I'm going to send you a link. You let me know if it's in better or worse condition than yours. Oh, that's definitely in better condition. That looks like it's remodeled. Great. So you're telling me you want $550,000 when your neighbor's house, who is bigger with an extra bedroom and a better backyard, and you said is in better condition, you want $550 when they sold for $540. Does that make sense? We're not a nonprofit, right? We are a for-profit company. We have to make money. We would lose $10,000 already before we do anything. Does that make sense to you? And you start using objective market data that way. That helps a lot. Just slowly work them into a range. You can also ask other questions. One of my favorite questions to ask is, hey, if I gave you a $50,000 gift card to Home Depot, what would you improve at your house? Oh, I do the countertops. Oh, I do the roof. And they start listing out things. But sellers don't know, you guys. We have to meet this avatar, these people, where they are. We cannot be smarter than our customer. We have to meet them at their third grade understanding of real estate and help them understand what deferred maintenance is. They think because their roof's not torn off the house, their home's in great condition. A lot of people. We have to help them understand and conceptualize, hey, and this actually works best if you go out to the property, because you can bring a pen and a paper and you can just walk through the house and you can just note down 100 things of deferred maintenance. And they're going to go, holy crap, that guy has a list of 100 things that needs to be fixed in my house. But you got to help them understand what deferred maintenance means and what it's going to cost you. That combined with market data helps you build them a range. And you always want to put them in a range. So you never want to say, hey, I'm going to give you 200. You want to walk them through market data, slowly walk them into, hey, because of that, we're going to be somewhere in the 210 to 240 range. Is that a range that you'd even consider? Right. And that's how you get yourself into a range and start having discussions about price, and not just, they don't care what you think. They want to know what the market actually is. Most people. Takeaway. Okay. Sounds very slimy salesman, car salesman. It's not. Okay. The takeaway is just creating a little space and getting them to commit to you. You want them to commit to you. We had a question on a community call the other day about someone that was having DocuSigns left out and not getting signed, right? You want to get someone to verbally commit to you during this process. What does that look like? Hey, if we're going to say we're going to work in this range and I'm going to send you a DocuSign, we're going to set aside the resources and time and energy on our end. I need your word that once we send this agreement, you are signing this. Yes, we're going to sign this. Okay. So you're getting them to pre-commit to that deal. And the takeaway looks like, we're really busy. We have a lot of opportunity. If this isn't what you want to do, that is fine. You got to let us know right now. And so you're taking away their opportunity temporarily to get them to commit to you verbally that they're going to take the next step. And that is the goal here. And that goes with the bridge and then the close. And the couple things here on the close, you guys, whether you're doing a DocuSign, in-person signature, is you don't let them shop your deal. So if you send a DocuSign, you want to be on the phone with them when you send it so you can walk them through it. And if they don't sign it, you want to avoid it. And if you're in person, you don't leave a contract at their house, you take it with you. If an attorney wants to see the purchase and sale agreement, or the realtor does, you send a blank agreement, right? You let them see all the terms, but you don't send them the price, because you do not want them to just start shopping your number around town.